Welcome to your channel that teaches you corporate English every day.
I want to begin this session by giving you a clear frame for what we are going to explore. Today, I am not simply talking about Google Shopping as a tool or as an ad placement format. I am going to treat shopping as a commercial engine, a structured, measurable, scalable way to turn product intent into product revenue. With mathematical discipline, the subject is especially attractive when we talk about fashion footwear, because this category lives at the intersection of impulse, aesthetics, price sensitivity, competitive pressure, exactly the kind of battlefield where shopping campaigns can dominate when well executed. Before we go deep, I want you to understand the single most important sentence of this entire lesson. Google Shopping is not just traffic, it is pre-qualified demand at the moment of comparison and purchase readiness. If you internalize that one idea, everything else becomes easier to understand. You are not paying for curiosity. You are not paying for awareness. You're buying entry into a decision the user is already preparing to make right there. In live time, I will guide this lecture from the perspective of someone who is responsible for profit, not clicks. Someone who is asked to prove that media spend returns margin, not visibility. Someone who must translate platform mechanics into commercial consequences. For fashion footwear, especially unisex fashion footwear, where price trend, model variety, launch timing, and visual attractiveness are the friction points, shopping is not optional. It is fundamental infrastructure. Let me now start laying the foundation from the ground up so that every benefit you hear later sits on a logical structure and not on slogans or promises. Why shopping campaigns are commercially superior for fashion footwear? First commercial advantage is money efficiency per buying intent. In traditional search campaigns, your ad copy does the filtering, you pay for the click, and only then. Discover if the user cares about your exact SKU, your price, your brand, your style. In shopping, the reverse logic applies. The filtering happens before the click. The user sees price, model, photo, and store brand immediately. They click only if that combination is already acceptable to their buying brain. That reverses the cost logic in your favor. If I show an example with numbers, assume the following scenario. You receive 1,000 impressions on a shopping product tile for a unisex sneaker out of those 1,000. Only 25 people clicked. Those 25 clicked after seeing price plus photo plus model name. Let us say you pay 90 reals per click. That is 2,250 reals in media spend out of the 25 visitors. To convert to 8% conversion rate now, let us compare with search under the same final conversion count. If you run a generic search ad, you might get 80 clicks out of 1,000 impressions. 8% CTR happens easily on brand-aligned terms. But you would not pre-filter people by price, style, or model. You might pay 150 reals per click, a realistic CPC for competitive footwear terms. That is 12,000 reals to eventually get the same 2 sales, to get the same 2 orders. Search costs you 12,000 reals. Shopping costs you 2,250 reals. Same revenue. 5.3x cheaper media cost. This is not theory. This is category behavior. For footwear, fashion, this relationship holds very frequently because shopping queries are heavily comparative. People check price tiles before clicking. They do not research generically and then click blindly the way they sometimes do in electronics or finance. When the product is visible, pre-click, and appearance matters, shopping absorbs the filtering. Job search normally does post-click, and that destroys wasted budget. This single mechanical difference already puts shopping ahead when your commercial goal is not awareness, but sell inventory with positive unit economics. Asterisk, asterisk, now that the cost logic is clear. I want to move to the second commercial pillar, scalability without dilution. Many campaigns grow fast at first but lose efficiency when you try to scale. Shopping behaves differently because it scales by inventory and feed depth, not by keyword expansion. That is a structural advantage for fashion footwear stores. Let me illustrate. If your catalog has 500 shoe models, sneakers, boots, loafers, sandals, Each variation in size and color becomes a distinct product ID in the Merchant Center. Each of those products can win its own auction inside Google's system. This means commercially is that you are not buying keywords.
Oh.
You are buying product visibility opportunities. Each new SKU you upload is another lottery ticket inside Google's shelf. The more complete and well-structured your feed, the larger your digital shelf space. Imagine you are running a search campaign for white sneakers. You might pay 200 reals per click and compete with hundreds of other stores. In shopping, that same query could show your exact SKU white Urban Flow sneaker. Size 39, 249 reals. The system knows the product attributes, so it does the matching automatically. If you have 50 variants of white sneakers, that is 50 potential entry points instead of one keyword. Scaling your shopping campaigns, therefore, is not about bidding higher. It is about feeding more structured inventory. From a business standpoint, this creates a direct connection between merchandising and media performance. The better your product catalog organization, the higher your exposure potential. That's why I tell fashion e-commerce owners, shopping performance is not purely a marketing department topic. It is an inventory communication strategy. Every product uploaded correctly becomes an ad. Every price update becomes a repositioning message. Every photo improvement becomes a CTR booster. Feed quality as a profit multiplier. The next benefit is feed quality, and here the commercial reasoning is simple. Google reads what you give it. If your product feed has clean titles, descriptive attributes, competitive prices, and high-quality images, the system rewards you with cheaper CPCs and more impression share. For footwear, where product differentiation often lives in adjectives leather, casual, platform, minimalist, descriptive titles are worth real money. Let's look at two titles. Sneaker, 3021 white. Minimalist sneaker unisex, lightweight casual fashion shoe. The second one tells Google's algorithm what kind of buyer to show the ad to. When the system knows that your ad competes in narrower, cheaper auctions, multiply that effect by 500 SKS, and you understand why two companies with identical budgets can have completely different revenue curves commercially. Feed optimization is free margin creation. You don't pay more to add adjectives or improve photos, but you get lower cost per conversion. In practice, good feed work can reduce your CPA by 20% to 40% in fashion categories. That means if you spend 10 reals per month, you might recover 2 reals. 0 for reals, just by feeding. Google better information, visual relevance, and the psychology of footwear buyers. In fashion footwear, visuals are not optional decoration. They are the first layer of persuasion. Shopping is the only Google campaign type where the image is the click trigger. In search ads, the text is the trigger. In display, the audience is. Here, the product image decides if the user will stop scrolling. For that reason, I always emphasize photography consistency. When all your product images share the same background, lighting, and angle, you unconsciously build brand recognition inside the shopping carousel. Even if people do not click today, the mental impression stays, and they later see your store name again. The subconscious recognition lowers friction. From a commercial viewpoint, this is free retargeting by design. You don't pay again for that impression memory. It happens automatically. Think of shopping not only as a sales channel, but also as a visual repetition engine that reinforces your brand look across multiple purchase cycles. Price competitiveness and margin. Intelligence let me bring a realistic numeric example to connect the dots. Assume you sell a line of fashion sneakers for 249 reals, with an average cost of 110 reals per pair, shipping included. Your gross margin is 139 reals per unit. If your shopping campaign produces conversions at 25 reals per sale, your effective profit per pair after ads is 114 reals. If you rely only on search campaigns and your CPA is 60 reals, your profit drops to 79 reals across 500 monthly orders. That difference represents 17.500 reals in additional retained profit, not from selling more units, but from spending less to acquire each one. That is the quiet power of shopping. It saves the margin that text ads burn. I have seen multiple footwear stores where shopping was not even the main channel, but it carried the highest profitability ratio because of that cost-to-intent match. It is the only channel that forces the user to self-qualify before clicking, which eliminates unprofitable curiosity clicks. Inventory, control, and sales seasonality. Another strategic benefit is inventory velocity control. Fashion footwear lives in seasons. Winter boots, summer sandals, new colorways. Shopping gives you the power to adjust exposure dynamically. You can increase bids for overstocked items or pause slow movers instantly without needing to rewrite, add copy, or edit keywords. Let's say you still have 200 pairs of last season's loafers. In search, you'd have to create new ads or promotions manually. In shopping, you just tag those products in your feed as discounted or clearance and let the merchant center update the feed. Google's system automatically starts showing those offers to users who filter buy on sale. This automation transforms campaign management from manual labor into data management. Commercially, this means fewer wasted human hours and faster reaction to market shifts. That translates into operational savings, real money that stays in your business. Data feedback and long